Have you ever heard of a jet that doesn't just fight the enemy, but silences them completely, not by firing missiles, not by dropping bombs, but by making sure the enemy can't even see the attack coming? That's not science fiction, that's the EA-18G Growler. A jet so advanced, it turns the modern battlefield into a game of blindfolded chess. Imagine this: somewhere over the ocean, enemy radars are scanning the skies. Everything seems calm. Then suddenly, every radar screen goes dark. Communications jam. Missile systems stop responding. The entire defense network collapses in seconds. And no one knows why. What they don't realize is high above them, the Growler is already there, quietly doing its job. The EA-18G Growler is a modified version of the famous F/A-18 Super Hornet. But instead of being designed to destroy enemy aircraft, it's built to destroy their electronics. This jet is not a brawler, it's a hacker with wings. It flies into enemy territory, listens, intercepts, confuses, and completely paralyzes the opponent's electronic systems. In other words, it fights the invisible war. Its secret weapon, the ALQ-99 tactical jamming pods, long, powerful systems hanging under its wings. These pods emit high-frequency energy waves that can block, distort, or overload enemy radar signals. If a missile tries to lock onto it, the Growler can make that missile forget its target. If the enemy tries to communicate with their troops, all they'll hear is static noise. In a war where information is everything, the Growler makes sure the enemy has none. But here's the real curiosity: the Growler doesn't just protect itself. It protects everyone else. When fighter jets like the F-35 or F-22 prepare for a deep strike, the Growler goes first. It clears the way, jamming radar networks, blinding early warning systems, and creating chaos in enemy communications. Only then do the other jets move in safely. It's the invisible shield behind every successful modern air mission. Some pilots call it the ghost jet. Because when it flies, enemies don't even know they're being attacked until it's too late. The Growler turns technology into a weapon of confusion. It's like turning off all the lights before the fight even begins. Let's go deeper. The cockpit of the EA-18G is a digital fortress. Two crew members sit inside, the pilot and the electronic warfare officer. While one controls the flight and weapons, the other controls the electronic battle. They monitor waveforms, detect enemy signals, and decide which systems to jam. It's like a live chess game, where every move has to be calculated within seconds. The enemy changes frequencies, the Growler counters immediately. The enemy launches missiles, the Growler blinds them with noise. Every second in this cockpit counts. But the Growler's power isn't just about defense. It can launch attacks too, using harm missiles to hunt down enemy radar systems. Yes, the Growler can literally detect where an enemy radar is coming from and send a missile straight toward it. So while it jams, it also strikes back. That's what makes it so feared. It's not just a shield, it's a sword of silence. Let's talk about its history for a second. Before the Growler, there was the EA-6B Prowler, an older, slower, but legendary electronic warfare aircraft. The Prowler served the US Navy for decades, but as warfare became faster and more digital, the world needed something smarter. That's when the EA-18G Growler was born, faster, stealthier, and fully integrated into the modern air fleet. It entered service in 2009 and instantly changed how the US fights wars in the electronic spectrum. And here's something even more curious. In modern conflicts, the side that controls the electromagnetic spectrum usually wins. If you can jam the enemy's radar, block their communications, and shut down their missiles. You don't just control the air, you control the war. That's why the Growler isn't just a fighter, it's a force multiplier. One Growler can protect an entire squadron. Without it, even the most advanced stealth jets could be vulnerable. But with the Growler flying nearby, they become untouchable. It's like having an invisible guardian watching over the battlefield. Now imagine being the enemy. You're sitting in a radar control room. Everything's quiet, then suddenly alarms go off. Your radar feeds start flickering. Signals vanish. Missiles can't lock on. Your communications officer shouts, "We've lost contact with command." You try to reboot the system, nothing. And in that silence, you realize something terrifying. You're already under attack and you never even saw it coming. That's the power of the Growler. Of course, no machine is perfect. The Growler isn't the fastest jet in the sky, it's not meant to dogfight or chase enemies. It relies on escort fighters for protection. But in return, it gives them something priceless, the ability to fight without being seen. And in the modern age of radar and missiles, that's a superpower. Its presence alone changes the enemy's behavior. When adversaries know a Growler is in the area, they hesitate to turn on their radars. They know the moment they do, the Growler will find them and jam or destroy them. That's psychological warfare at 30,000 feet. Even today, the Growler continues to evolve. Newer systems like the next generation jammer are being tested, even more powerful, faster, and precise. The U.S. Navy plans to keep the Growler in service well into the 2040s. Because as warfare becomes more digital, this aircraft becomes even more valuable. The future of war won't just be about who has the most bombs. It'll be about who controls the data, the signals, the frequencies. And the EA-18G Growler is already the master of that invisible battlefield. So the next time you look up and see a fighter jet slicing through the clouds, remember, not every battle in the sky is loud. Some are completely silent. Some are fought in frequencies, not fire. And somewhere up there, the Growler might be flying unseen, unheard, but changing the course of the war before it even begins. Because sometimes, the most powerful weapon in the world, is silence.